it up.
Okay, let's give it up for Eli and Bradley. They're going without their partner today. So very courageous. Thank you so much for still presenting today.
Yes, I'm Eli.
I'm Brad.
Nate is gone. He's missing in action. Our story is we're calling it The Owlet.
It's frozen.
Frozen.
Okay, let's try that one more time. Can you take it from the top? Okay, let's give it up for Eli and Bradley.
Hi, I'm Eli.
I'm Brad.
Nate is gone. He's dead. And our story is The Owlet. So we have a couple of cities. Our very first one is called Halloween. It is a very beautiful city of open fields with very lush and very fertile, and they have, a lot of wonderful life there. We have they kind of worship. I don't know if worship is the right word. They have this belief in this big tree in the center, like city square. They believe that it's the source of all their of all the life, of all the fertile soil of the trees and the bountiful harvests. It's sort of like the central symbol of Halloween. It's like the city's crest.
And then south of the city of Halloween is Grimholt. Grimholt is a more darker city type. It's near the ocean, so their land's not as fertile as it's always so dark there. It's all gloomy and stuff. It's the complete opposite of Halloween. So they cannot plant any resources or anything, so they rely on fishing mainly. And even then, now the area surrounding Grimholt is dying, so there's no agriculture, and the fish are leaving all of a sudden. So
yeah, and Grimholt is it's kind of like a Bossing Say-esque city. It's like a big wall surrounding the whole thing, and a second inner wall that separates the outer ring of where all basically the peasants, the poor people live, and the center ring where the rich nobles get to hang out.
Oh, and to provide context for later, Grimholt and Halewind used to trade with each other, so they trade crops and stuff, as Grimholt cannot grow crops. Halewind would supply them, but then I guess later in the story we'll get into why that stops.
Yes. Oh, and in terms of physical location, Grimholt is trapped at the very end of a peninsula, and Halloween sort of stands blocking their way into the greater continent.
And then the two are divided by a forest in between, in the middle. So not a lot is known about the forest. There is one path leading between the two, but as their cooperation has ended, that path has been more overgrown by the forest and taken over. But I guess geographically the forest is just very dense and thick. Even the trail isn't before when they're cooperating, it's not a straight trail or anything. But now that it's overgrown, there's nothing. I think it's characterized it's really foggy in there, it's mysterious. And within the forest there's a mysterious beast in there that we'll talk about in the story later. But
yeah, there's a lot of mystery surrounding it, because anyone who wanders too far into the forest, away from the path, never seems to come back out. Our main character is called Leif Norwood. He is the son of Asmund Norwood, who is the sort of general of Halloween. He's not the model man. He's very insecure. He's a bit of a coward, but he wants to prove himself to his father and to the city. Then his father, Asmund, he is a right-hand man to the Lord of Halloween, Lord Oakshield, head of the armed forces, and he trains Leif and the Prince Edric. He's a very harsh father. He's very, maybe not cruel, but not nice to Leif. But that's because he wants Leif to be stronger. He wants him to become, a better warrior.
Alright, then Edric Oakshield, he's like Leif's best friend, like they grew up together. His Leif's dad was like raised them together kind of in a way. Because like as like his dad, like the Lord Oakshield, he's like he's busy ruling Halewind, so doesn't really have the time. And then so the thing with Edric is like he's like Leif, but like better in every way. And like in terms of like skill and like he has confidence that Leif lacks. And like he would make a perfect soldier if he didn't have to be the heir to the throne. So he's a bit rebellious in that sense, as he doesn't want to take over Halewind when he's older. He'd rather join like armed forces and stuff. And then then his dad, Lyman Oakshield, father of Edric, lordship has been passed down for generations through the Oakshield family. He like spends most of the story trying to get Edric like ready to take over the throne. But, like obviously Edric doesn't want that. And then he's characterized as a very caring ruler. He's like the nicest guy ever. He like cares about all his people. Like no one goes unfed or anything.
And then on the other side of the woods, you have Casimir Agravain. He is the lord of Grimholt. He's just recently taken the throne. His father had died in his sleep, kind of suspiciously. He's a very bad guy. He really doesn't like. He's like very opposed to the peace that is between Halloween and, at the time, Brynewatch. As he takes the throne, he renames his city to Grimholt and wages war on Halloween. No one knows why he renamed it, but the truth is, he has his own religious beliefs. He believes he's been chosen by some occult god to lead now Grimholt to take over the peninsula and the whole continent. He kidnaps people and sacrifices them to gain power, or what he believes will give him power.
Oh, and side note, he doesn't just kidnap people and kill them from like Halewind. That's the majority. But then the more like derailed he gets, like he ends up like sacrificing his own people, just like show that this guy's not a good guy at all.
Yeah. So, Act 1, we begin. It's what they believe is just a normal day, as any other. Suddenly, a messenger comes from the south, from Brynewatch, saying the old Lord Agravain is dead, and the new Casimir, his son, is the new lord. This is very worrying to Wymond and Asmund, the lord and the general, because they know about Casimir's unorthodox opinions about the two cities. But that's not all that comes, because he's chosen to wage war on Halloween, as we mentioned, and renamed it, which is putting everyone on edge, because why would he do that? It's kind of like, especially the renaming. The normal training sessions that happened with Asmund, that Leif and Edric had with him, are suddenly cancelled, because the War Council is meeting all the time, and there's no time for training. At one point in the chaos, Edric vanishes. Leif, he has no idea what happened, but no one's available to come help him because of the war. Until finally they realize he's been kidnapped by Casimir and his men. So they have to organize a quest to save him. At which point, do you want to? Yeah.
Okay. Alright, in Act 2, we start off. Lord Oakshield assembles Asmund and all of his other like greatest soldiers in a room, and they plan on I guess infiltrating a Grimholt in order to find Erdrick again. And then Leaf overhears this, and then later that night he asks his father if he can come along. But obviously, like since like Leaf's kind of like a bum, like his dad says no. And then as Asmund and his soldiers head off to Grimholt, Leaf jumps in like a cargo little like wagon thing, like I don't know how to explain it, and then tags along. And then as they were going through the forest, Asmund and his men, they stop, and then they go back into the cargo wagon, and they find Leaf there, and obviously like his dad's like not happy about that because he told him not to go. But then like they can't turn back now because they're already so far in the forest that like they don't know the trail anymore. And then yes, as they're arguing, Asmund and Leaf about like why is he there, they realize they drift too far off in the forest, and that they've actually like gone off the path now. And then men start disappearing, and then they get out eventually. Like it's like it's kind of like unnecessary, not really necessary to the plot right now. So like, don't really. Do you want to go into depth into it?
I mean, I guess more like one of the challenges that they face along the way really expands the mystery of the woods. Is what got them? Was it a bear, or was it this evil monster that everyone's whispering about?
Yeah. And then like when the men get out, or like the surviving men get out, they set up camp outside Grimholt, and then they scout out like the surrounding area, and then they decide they'll attack at night. And then at night they find where Erdrick is being held, and they get him out. But then Casimir Agravain comes in and just catches him in the act, and him and his men kill, I think, a couple of the soldiers on their team, and then they kidnap Asmund, Leif's dad, and then Leif and like 3 other guys end up escaping and going back to camp, and that's where Act 2 ends.
Yeah. So from there, what they have to do is find a way to free the rest of the men and Leif's dad and the prince. And that's where we will leave you off on the mystery. So if you want to know more, I guess you'll just have to give us... Did you say movie or book? I don't remember.
Movie. Oh, we didn't say that.
Yeah. You'll have to give us our movie then. Yeah, I guess reflections. You want to start first?
Okay. I guess like a takeaway that we had, or something that we want you guys to take away, is how like the cooperation of nations is benefit for society. As what's it called? Grimholt ended up like pulling away from the I guess what would you call it,
the alliance.
Yeah, the alliance I guess they had between the two, or the peace that resulted in a war being waged. I guess that's kind of similar to hasn't happened yet, but in I guess in today there's countries that are not exactly cooperating with each other, so it's results in conflict.
Cough cough. There's also a lot of the mythology of this world. I was hinting consistently about how maybe the tree isn't actually giving them all their. Maybe the tree isn't actually helping them, and maybe there isn't a monster in the forest, and maybe the god that Lord Agravain follows is him just making things up. And we, in the story, it'll be just a mystery. If you want to believe in the mythology, then that it works. But if you also think it's just myth and not real, it also is an option. That's I guess a reflection of real world cultures of the past, and to some extent the present, where people just believe things because that is the belief of the community, and it would be kind of wild to say, hey, actually, I don't think that's true, and put yourself out there like that.
So is it a movie or a book?
Movie.
It's a movie.
Okay,
Okay.
I forgot to say that. Sorry.
All right, I have a wondrous question. So You said that I'm gonna just say north south. I forgot the names.
That's fine.
North is the good guy.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah, they worship this like tree, right? And the south, they don't really have anything that they like kind of center around, right? Do they?
Kind of like the people don't, but
Yeah.
the Lord like worships this like this God.
Mhm.
It's like, and like he believes like sacrificing to it, like
Yeah, and it's
benefits
like
him.
with the leader, like the new heir to the throne of the south. Why would he start a war with the north, even if they had this like relationship that helped each other? Why would he actually harm them?
Well, his beliefs in this more Cthulhu-esque god, it's like pushing him to, try and conquer everything. And I think there is some history between the two cities of war in like the distant past. So Lord Agravain, he's trying to revive some of that.
Did you ever get around to explaining why the fish were disappearing from the coast of Brazil? You mentioned that early on.
Just like bad luck, sometimes things don't go well for people.
I think.
And-
I think also it says we need more of like a driving force for why, like Lord Agravain would want to like take control of the northern like area, because like now their land is now the southern area is like now like practically inhabitable, as there's no food, no resources, anything. So they kind of just need to move over there.
So it's more just like a natural occurrence.
Yeah.
Because I was a little confused because the way you set it up was like it was like
Yeah.
Why there's no image in your slides? I'm
Well,
trying to like leave us some space with imagination.
yeah, and also we're all film students, and at least I'm not the greatest artist. And also, yeah, imagine if we want to let you imagine what this world would look like. That's the main reason.
Are you
Obviously.
are you anti-AI art? Easy way to generate some images quickly.
No, I just don't think we got around to that.
Okay.
What were you guys inspired by?
Game of Thrones.
I was quick.
I haven't seen it, but I could definitely tell that was a source for Brad and Nate.
What kind of tree is the tree?
Oak tree.
Magical.
It's an oak because it's oak shield.
Magical oak tree.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.